Humans of the Cardboard, welcome back to Just Nuts, guys. Huge drop of news tonight. We have the first cover art and archetype support for Rage of the Abyss. This is a huge deal. Sure, it's a new core set. Core sets are always important, but we saw when we theorized when we got the name for this set, Rage of the Abyss, this has got to be a new shark set, and lo and behold, it absolutely is. So we've got 9 brand new shark cards here. I don't want to waste too much time. I set aside the shark core as soon as we knew Rage of the Abyss was the name of the set, because I really thought that was like all sharks all day. So here we go. All right, first off here, we have Surfacing Big Jaws. This is a new version of the old Big Jaws shark monster. Hopefully. The main deck cards need to be good. That's like the number one thing sharks needed. They've got decent extra deck tools. They need some better main deck stuff. Okay, Surfacing Big Jaws. Level 4 water fish. That's exactly what I want to see. I want level 4 water fish extenders that are good. 1800 attack. You can only use the first and second effects name each per turn. First effect, during your main phase. If a spell card was activated this turn, you can special summon this card from your hand. Also, you cannot special summon for the extra deck except XYZ monsters. Interesting. That's actually just like a generic extender, not even water or shark based at all. Okay, that's pretty nice though. Any spell. Now the problem is the deck doesn't have a lot of spell starters or consistency spells that you activate super early, so that's definitely going to be a question mark there. Okay, but still, like, that's not bad at all. Second effect, if this card is normal summoned or special summoned, add a fish shark monster from your deck to your hand. I was wondering what they would do with this, because shark is a pretty generic, you know what I mean, like, card name. There's a lot of archetypes that have like their own shark monster, but they make it fish shark, so it has to be specifically a fish shark. That's really solid. I mean, that makes this, even as a normal summon, decent, because this is just a level 4 body that then searches Abyss Shark, and then Abyss Shark is 2 more bodies to keep going with. That's pretty good. So this is an extender that also searches. That's solid. And if this is used for an Exceed summon of a water monster, it can be treated as a 3 or 5. Love it. This card is solid. This card is legitimately solid. I like this quite a bit. This is a good one for the first card. Love it. All right, let's keep it going. Hopefully more good main deck cards. You can only use the first and second effect of this card each once per turn. If this card's added to your hand, except by drawing it, you can special summon it. We just have more Poplar. They're just making Poplar for every archetype these days. I don't hate it. Searchable off the monster above. What else would this be searchable? I guess it's searchable off of Abyss Shark as well. Yep, cool. Nice easy summon there. If this card is used for the XYZ summon of that also means like if this is found off of like Prosperity too, if you decide to play that. I don't know if the extra deck has room for that, but whatever. If this card is used for the Exceed summon of a water monster that uses 3 or more materials, it can be counted as 2 materials. Ooh, this card by itself may unlock some extra deck monsters that felt a little too cost heavy prior on its own. Okay, sweet. Last effect, a Shark Drake Exceed monster that has this card as material gains this effect. Once per turn, you can detach 2 materials from this card to target a spell or trap in the field. Attach it to this card as material. Okay, I mean, like, fine. That's the bonus effect. I feel like the first 2 effects are definitely more the bread and butter of this card. But that bonus effect is not bad. I mean, it just gives back row removal to any Shark Drake Exceed monster. We'll have to see. I'm assuming we get one later here. I know some already exist, but they're not that good. They're not even good enough to make like modern shark builds. So we'll have to see what the new one does. There. Okay. New level 3 shark monster. That's pretty exciting. This is Armored Shark Waterfish Effect Monster, level 3, 500, 2000. This card is always treated as an Armored Exceed card. Wow. Wait, that's so crazy. Because that means now Armored Exceed can now cut the spell if they want, or for the shark deck, you can cut the spell if you want, which is a brick. You don't want to draw it. You keep the trap, because that's how you make the big Armored Exceed monster not Bahamut. I can't remember. I can't remember his name. Lancer. The Lancer guy. An interruption, a non-targeting interruption, and also search this if this is like an actual good extender. Wow, okay. You can only use the first and second effect once per turn. You can send 1 water XYZ monster from your extra deck to the graveyard. Then target a fish monster in your graveyard with a level equal to the sent monster's rank. Special summon it. Okay, that's an effect on field. Interesting. So that's not quite as good because Okay, so this is not an extender, it doesn't look like. Second effect, during your opponent's turn, if this card is in your graveyard, quick effect, target a water XYZ monster you control, equip this card to it as an equip spell that gives it 500 attack. Dang, dude. So this is a new card. This is a new version of for you being able to like get the trap, or not get the trap, but like activate Lancer on the opponent's turn, because this can just quick equip from grave to it on the opponent's turn, and then you can suck something else up. That is so interesting. My problem here a little bit is this first effect. I mean, I guess so. Searching this card does not seem to be that good. That's what I'm landing on with this card. It doesn't change its level if it's used as an Exceed material, so you really don't seem to want to use this as material. You want to just get this in grave, basically, which is not optimal, but it's still an interesting card. And this effect being able to send a Water Exceed, that's technically Toad, but you'd have to have a level 2 fish in grave, which the deck doesn't really play, so that doesn't really work with Toad. We'll have to see some of the other XYZ monsters in this support to see if anything really clicks in there. Okay, so those are our 3 main deck monsters. I really like this guy. I mostly like this guy. I think he's a decent extender. We'll see if like his second effect, being allowing him to count as 2 materials, works. Like, this card would have been so broken if it didn't have this text. If it just said this can count as 2 materials. So this card, like, just summoning this card is like 1 card rank 4 is crazy, but still not bad. All right, let's keep it going. All right, next up we have number C32, Shark Drake Leviathan. This is a new Shark Drake, so this does have synergy with that second effect, so that second guy can give this guy an extra back row removal. This card is a rank 5, 3100 attack, 2600 defense, Water Sea Serpent, 4 level 5 monsters. You can also XYZ summon this card by discarding 1 spell and using 1 rank 4 Shark Drake monster you control, transfer its materials to this. So that's actually pretty doable, especially with the Armored Exceed package, being able to search that spell guaranteed, like super easily in the deck. And then if you just make a Shark Drake after that, you then can make this pretty freely. Okay, that's interesting. Once per turn, quick effect. Detach a material from this card, then target an effect monster your opponent controls, negate its effects, and if you do, change its attack and offense to 0. It's just a walking imperm that also like lowers the stats of the monster. That's fine. This card can make it a second. Wait, hold on. That is not until the end of the turn, at least. That is a permanent negate, but that's not that different from imperm these days. Games are so fast that that extra turn doesn't matter that much. This card can make it a second attack during each battle phase. That's pretty good for a 3100 beater. And then if this card attacks a defense or monster, inflict piercing. Honestly, a little underwhelmed by this card. I had already said, like, the extra deck for Sharks is already really solid and even pretty tight for space. So for Konami to make some extra cards that are actually playable, they have to be pretty good. But I'm not making this over Bahamut Toad. I'm not making this over Kragan, probably. Especially since it needs the extra materials. Well, or at least you to discard a spell card from hand. All right. Next up here, we have Virtue Dragons as the new, like, Leviathan Dragon retrain. Water Sea Serpent, rank 3, 2000 attack, 0 defense. 2 level 3 monsters, pretty easy to make. You can only use the first and second effects once per turn. If this card is special summoned, you can add a Virtue Stream from your deck to your hand. I don't know what that is. I'm assuming it's a card here. Hopefully it's good. If that's good, then even, like, rank 3 packages could become, like, interesting in this deck. You can activate one of these effects, detach an XYZ material from your monster to add a fish, sea serpent, or aqua monster from your graveyard to your hand. Wow. Okay. Or target 2 XYZ monsters on the field, detach 1 material from one of them, and attach it to the other as material. That second effect, I don't know the exact scenario you'd even be using that in. It sounds like, to me, the first effect sounds like the main one, right? On summon, this card is search, getting you a +1. And then getting you a +1 from grave. And then you also have the Armored Exceed cards that can kind of get into this card pretty freely. That's good, man. There are even lines where you could go Bahamut, summon this card, and since it's just on special, this would search you anyway. And then you could, because this effect doesn't need to detach from itself, you could attach the second material from Bahamut to search again. That's pretty good. This card seems good. It depends how good Virtue Stream is, but if that's good, this card's pretty nasty here. I like this card a lot, actually. All right, next up we have Surface Aquajet. Love this, a retrain of old-style Aquajet. Normal spell, you can only use the first and second effect once per turn. Special summon a level 4 or lower fish, sea serpent, or aqua from hand or grave, and if you do, you cannot special summon for the X deck while you control it, except Exceed monsters. That's totally fine. That's a decent little just extra. I like that it's hand or grave. I mean, obviously deck would have been the best thing possible, but we're not always going to get, free free summon. We're not always going to get an E-Telly in every archetype, but all things considered, that's not bad. I like that it's hand or grave, so that way when you do have maybe a couple too many normal summons in hand, which sharks can tend to play, a few, not few too many, but enough where you might draw multiples. That is nice to be able to pull one out of the hand. They also have a couple bricks that you don't want to draw in hand, so pulling those out is nice, but also just getting something from grave is pretty good as well. Don't hate that. All right, cool. Okay, this is Reincarnate Unveil Male. Okay. This is a equip spell. This card is always treated as an XYZ, an Armored Exceed card. So again, searchable off of the Armored Exceed package. You can only activate this card, one card with this card's name per turn. An Exceed monster equipped with this card gains these effects. Cannot be destroyed by battle. And once per turn, if this card battled this turn, quick effect, you can return one equipped card equipped to this card to the hand. Then immediately after this effect resolves, XYZ summon one water monster. The second effect of this card is sent to the graveyard. You can activate this effect, equip it from your graveyard to an XYZ monster you control during the end phase of this turn. I don't know. Honestly, I'm a little underwhelmed by the two new Armored Exceed cards here. I wish they had a little more utility to them. But this is just an equip spell. You're only equipping on your turn. And to get that quick effect, that actually isn't the worst, like being able to rank up again. But it's only if your monster battled. So again, it's really only an effect you can rely on your turn. I don't know. This card's a little underwhelming to me. I mean, let me know if you're more in tune with the shark stuff or some of the other targets to be able to quick exceed into that may be better. But this one's a little underwhelming to me. Two more. Okay. One is a normal trap. So this is Virtue Stream. This is the trap card that's actually searchable off of the Leviathan Dragon. It's a normal trap. You can only use the first and second effects once per turn. Target a fish, sea serpent, or aqua monster you control, and two cards your opponent controls. Destroy them. Okay. So now the deck can just get Icarus attacks super easily. I don't hate that. Not if it's super free like it seems to be with the Leviathan Dragon. That seems to be like an auto, already a decent little just easy one of in the deck. Second effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard to target a face-up monster on the field. Apply this effect based on its attribute. If it's a water, the next time it would be destroyed by card effect this turn, it's not destroyed. Okay, and this is a trap, so you can't activate this in the same turn that you use the main effect. So that's not the worst. I mean, make something on your field, dodge some kind of removal, or if you target a non-water, its attribute becomes water. I don't know how good that is. I mean, maybe there could be weird choke points with certain decks where they need to have the right attribute on field to link off and stuff, or I don't know. The graveyard effect is just a little baby bonus effect. The main effect is obviously that it's just Icarus attack, right? So I'm still not mad about it, especially if in other decks, just getting to Bahamut means you get to Leviathan, which means you get an Icarus attack for free, add a card back from grave automatically, and then go into the Armored Exceed package is pretty good for just any deck that can make two level 4 waters on field. Okay, I'm not mad about that. The last card here is our final trap. This is XYZ Poseidon Splash. This does have XYZ in the name, so it is searchable. I think there's a spell that just searches XYZ cards, so there's that. Let's see how it rolls. You can only use either the first or second effect on this card's name per turn, and only once that turn, so just can't do both in the same turn. If you control an XYZ monster that has an XYZ monster as material, declare one attribute among monsters on the field, destroy all monsters on the field with that attribute that are not equipped with an equip spell. Okay, so it's kind of like a board wipe. I mean, assuming most monsters aren't being equipped with equip spells, unless you're playing Infernoble or ABC or something, this should be pretty easy to do regardless. So that's fine. Second effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard and detach one XYZ material from your monster to special summon a fish, sea serpent, or aqua monster to that graveyard from your graveyard to either field. This card's fine. I guess the problem here is this card's not very searchable in the deck, right? It's not an Armored Exceed card. It's there's not much else going on there. All right, though. I mean, all in all, I'm not mad. This definitely makes Sharks better. Hands down, no questions asked. This guy is, I think, the biggest winner of these. The fact that he can be an extender or just be another normal summon next to Buzzsaw is really nice. He's definitely like a nice rendition of like power creep for Sharks. I like Drake Shark as well. This is probably a one-off extender that you play. I don't know what other Exceed monsters that already exist that maybe we had been choosing not to play in Sharks because they required 3+ materials and it felt a little heavy. Is there a world where maybe we do mess around with those cards now because Drake Shark is in the deck? I don't know, but that's definitely something to keep an eye on. This card's weird to me because it's not level 4 and it's not an extender, so it is just a little bit awkward. I don't hate it because it's an Armored Exceed. You kind of get it to the hand for free, but like, can we just kind of like, how can we pitch this card to grave to just get it in grave? Like that's kind of what we're looking for at that point. But you know, he's there. This card to me is just not good enough. Like, honestly, like, I get it, like, it can help you close games, but like, Sharks do not really struggle that much to close games. You put multiple big bodies on the field like pretty easily all the time. So I don't know, just not like, I don't know. This guy doesn't offer enough to me for how much investment it's going to take to like warrant playing this card. This card I love. Lavertu's good. This card's a +2 on summon, so potentially rank 3 packages in the deck, or just doing lines with Bahamut into this. It seems really, really strong. I like this card quite a bit, and the card it searches is a pretty decent interruption on top of everything else you do. Surface Aqua Jet. This is a pretty good extender. I mean, it's just a Reborn or a card that summons from hand. It's just decent versatility. If this summoned from deck, it'd be so wild. If this had said, like, summon one fish shark monster from your deck, I would be screaming. Because that's the one thing I'm looking at this, and I'm like, maybe if we had just gotten one consistency spell card, then I might have been, like, all the way in. I think this support helps a lot, but I'm not sure I'm all the way there. Spell card, the equip spell, I'm kind of off on this. This is your Icarus attack. It's probably a one-of in the deck going forward. And this card, I think, is kind of a throwaway card. I don't think this isn't searchable enough, accessible enough to warrant playing, probably. So there you go. Like I said, we got 2 new solid monsters. That's what I wanted. 2 new solid extenders in the deck. We got a new X-Trick monster that actually does have some solid value. A new spell that's a decent extender as well. And you have your Virtue Stream. So all in all, I think Sharks are on the way up. I don't know exactly how good they are, but you could have already argued they were rogue prior to this, so they're only getting better than that. Very curious to see what people do. I'll definitely be keeping my eyes peeled for what people want to mess with this deck, and maybe even some of these packages in other decks as well, other water strategies. I'd be curious to see where they go from there. But I'm out of here for today. Thank you so much for watching. As always, guys, subscribe to the channel for more news videos from me as stuff drops. And let me know your thoughts down below. How do you feel about this support? Where do you think Sharks are after this support? I'd love to hear your guys' input on that down in the comments. But I'm out of here for today. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.